Welcome everyone. In this part, we will discuss some question answers of the chapters Chemical Kinetics and D and F block elements. Let's start with question first. The order of a reaction with rate equal to K, concentration A to the power 3 by 2, concentration B to the power minus 1 by 2. Here the rate of a reaction is given, and in this you have to check the order of a reaction according to this rate, and options are given, or it may be 1, 2, minus 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So let's do, as we know that order of any reaction, it is the sum of the stoichiometric coefficients of the concentration of the reactant. So it will be N, it is noted as N will be equal to the power of concentration of A, that is 3 by 2, plus the power of concentration of B, that is minus 1 by 2. These both power will get add up, and as the power of concentration of B, it is 1 by 2. So on solving this, 3 by 2 plus in the bracket it is 1 by 2. So on solving this, we will get N will be equal to the value of N, that is order of a reaction, that comes to be N will be equal to 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2, it is coming to be 1. So the order of this reaction or this rate will be equal to 1. So the correct answer for this question will be option number 1, that is option number A, that is 1. Next question, the rate constant of a reaction is given and it is 0.5 liter mole inverse second inverse. What is the order of this reaction? In this question, the rate constant, the value of K, rate constant is given and it is 0.5 mole inverse, 0.5 liter mole inverse second inverse, and here you have to calculate the order of a reaction. So with the help of unit of rate constant, we can directly find out the order of any reaction. So here the order of a reaction, as the unit of rate constant given is mole inverse liter second inverse or liter mole inverse second inverse. So it is the unit for second order reaction. So the correct option among these options, the correct option will be option C. The order of a reaction is a second order reaction. Next question, point out the wrong statement. In the third part, you have to point out the wrong statement. And for a first order reaction, some statements are given. First statement is the time for half-life change. It means T half. Time for half-life change means T half into rate constant is equal to 0.693. Yes, because we know that T half for a first order reaction, it is equal, T half is equal to, or time for the half change is equal to 0.693 by K, or where K is the rate constant. So it means when rate constant and time of our half change will be will get multiply, and when they both will get cross multiply, then it will be equal to T half, or the time for half change into rate constant, will be equal to 0.693. So first statement is correct. Now let's check the second one. The unit of rate constant for the first order reaction, it is given here. It is mole inverse minute inverse. No, for the unit of rate constant for first order reaction, it is either second inverse or the minute inverse. It is the inverse of just time. So the second statement is wrong here. Now let's check the third one. Third is the time for half change. T half is independent of the initial concentration for a first order reaction. Yes, according to the formula which I have already discussed for this option number A, T half is equal to 0.93 by rate constant. It means this T half for a first order reaction, the half time of the half change, it is independent of the initial concentration. It doesn't depend upon the concentration of the reactant or the initial concentration of reactant. So the third statement is correct here. Now let's check the D. D is saying none of these. So no, here one option is wrong, and the option which is wrong, it is that statement in which the unit of rate constant for a first order reaction is not correct. The unit is either minute inverse or the second inverse, but here it is given mole inverse, minute inverse. So this option B is the wrong statement here. Next question. The question is given for a reaction N2 plus thrice of H2 gives 2NH3. The rate of change of H2 is given. It is 0.3 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole liter inverse, second inverse. What is the rate of change of the concentration of ammonia? Here you have to calculate the rate of change of concentration of ammonia. It means d by dt of concentration of ammonia, which we have to calculate, and the options are given. 4 options are given here. So let's check the answer. Since the reaction is N2 plus thrice of H2, it gives twice of NH3, and given in the question, it is given the rate of change of H2 is given. Rate of change of H2 is given, and it is given 0.3 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole liter inverse, second inverse. So rate of change of H2 means, since H2 is a reactant, so the rate of change, it means it will be disappear during the reaction, the reactants get disappear, so the rate of change will have a negative sign here. So it will be minus d by H2, d by dt of H2 will be equal to, it is given, it is 0.3 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole liter inverse, second inverse. And as we know that according to this equation of N2 plus 3H2 gives twice of NH3, as we have to write down the rate, then the rate will be equal to the rate of the disappearance of reactant equal to the rate of the appearance of the product, and stoichiometry terms raised in the denominator side. So what will be the rate for rate of disappearance of H2 will be minus 1 by 3 d by dt of H2, because 3 is the stoichiometric coefficient for H2. So on writing the rate, the stoichiometry terms will come in the denominator. So it as H2 is a reactant, so a minus sign will be there because it gets disappear during the reaction, and that will be equal to the rate of appearance of ammonia. And here you can see in ammonia the stoichiometry term is 2, so it will be the rate will be plus 1 by 2 d by dt of concentration of ammonia. It means plus 1 by 2 means plus sign means because NH3 ammonia is a product, and during the reaction ammonia is forming, that's why a positive sign is placed here. Now what will happen? So we have to calculate the value of d by dt of ammonia. Actually this is the rate of change of concentration of ammonia basically. So that will be equal to, on rearranging the equation, you will get minus 2 by 3 dH2 by dt, and we know that the value of dH2 by dt, it is given here 0.3 into 10 to the power minus 4 on, and on putting the value and solving the value, you will get final value, and the final value is 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 4. So the correct option is option C here. Now the next question, for a second order reaction, the rate at a particular time is X. It is given the reaction is second order and the rate for a particular time it is given, it is X. Value of rate is X. If the initial concentration is tripled, it is saying the rate is given. It is not the concentration, it is here, it is the rate. The value of rate R is equal to X here. But as soon as the value of concentration gets tripled, then what will be the rate now? And the options are given. 4 options are given here. Now let's check the answer. Since given is the rate is X, it is mentioned in the question the rate is X, means the value of R is X initially, and we know that for a second order reaction, how can we write down the rate of a reaction? For a second order reaction, the rate can be written as R is equal to K, which is rate constant, into concentration of reactant to the power 2. It means a reaction is second order when the reactant to the power 2 means concentration of reactant to the power 2 means second order reaction. So R will be equal to K, and where A is the reactant, so A to the power 2 here. And also it is given that the value of rate is equal to X. It is, the condition is given here. Now x will be equal to, or you can replace r by x, so x will be equal to k a to the power 2. And if the second part of the question, it is given if the initial concentration gets tripled, then the rate will be, it means initial concentration get tripled means the concentration of A becomes 3A now. It is 3 times of the now the final concentration is the 3 times of the initial concentration. Now then the rate will be, now on writing the rate will be K 3A to the power 2 because it is of second order reaction. So it will be equal to, as I get 3 to the power 2 as a constant and outside, so it will be 3 to the power 2 or 3 square into K into A to the power 2, concentration of A to the power 2. And we know that K A to the power 2, it is none other than x. It is x only. K A to the power 2 is x. So the rate, the new rate will be 9, since we know that 3 to the power 2 is 9. So it will be 9x. So the correct answer will be 9x. So the option D is the correct option here. Next question, which of the following statements about the interstitial compounds is incorrect? So the first statement is given, they are chemically reactive. They are much harder than the pure metal. They have higher melting points than the pure metal. And the last one, they retain metallic conductivity. And in this question you have to select the incorrect statement about the interstitial compound. So the very first option, which is having they are chemically reactive, this is the incorrect statement, because as soon as the interstitial compounds are formed with the help of the transition element, the interstitial compounds are chemically inert. They are unreactive, they are inert in nature. So the first statement is wrong, that they are chemically reactive, and all the other three options are correct here. Now the next question, the most stable ion is, some options are given, some ions are given in the options, and you have to select the most stable ion. To find out the stability of the ions, just write down the electronic configurations of the ions. Since these elements are of transition 3D transition series or the first transition series, so scandium plus 2, as we write down the electronic configuration for Sc2 positive, scandium 2 positive, so it will become 3D1. 2 electron will get removed, so it will be 3D1. So you can see in d orbital in Sc2 positive, 1 electron is unpaired. Now come to Fe2 positive, second option. When you will write down the electronic configuration for Fe2 positive, you will got, because the outermost electronic configuration of iron is 3d6 4s2, and for iron Fe2 positive, the electronic configuration, outermost electronic configuration will be 3d6, and 3d6 meaning there will be 4 unpaired electron in d orbital. 3d6 because d orbital, because d subshell has 5 orbital in it. Now come to Mn2 positive, and as we know that manganese, when manganese present in its metallic form, manganese as a metal, its outermost electronic configuration is 3d5 4s2. So as 2 electrons will get removed, the electronic configuration becomes 3d5. All the 5 electrons in the orbitals of d subshell, they all are unpaired in nature because it is having the electronic configuration 3d5. Now come to Mn3 positive. For Mn3 positive, 3 electrons will get removed, so the electronic configuration will be 3d4 now. So in case of the most stability, how can we justify the stability of the ion can be find out, either the orbital is half filled or the fully filled, or 0 electron present in the orbital. So here the half filled d orbital is of Mn2 positive, so this Mn2 positive ion will be more stable ion, and this is the correct answer here. Next question, in a reaction 3A gives 2B, what will be the rate of a reaction for positive d by dt of concentration of B? It means since B is a product, again B is a product here, so the formation or the rate of reaction for the formation of B, we have to calculate this, and the options are given. different options are given. Now let's check the answer here. Since the rate of a reaction, to write down for this given reaction, as to write down the rate of a reaction will be the rate of change of the concentration of reactant equal to the rate of change of the concentration of product. But in reactant side there will be a negative sign due to the disappearance of reactant, and in product side there will be a positive sign due to the appearance of product. So the rate of a reaction for this reaction will be -1/3, because stoichiometry of A is 3, so it will be -1/3 d by dt of concentration of A equal to +1/2 d by dt of concentration of B. And here in the question you have to calculate d by dt of concentration of B. So on rearranging this equation you will get -2/3 times d by dt of concentration of A. So the option C will be the correct option here. Next question, if 60% of a first order reaction was completed in 60 minutes, 50% of the same reaction would be completed approximately, and the time is given. Here you have to calculate the time. So let's check. Since we know that for a first order reaction the value of rate constant K is equal to 2.303 by T into log initial concentration upon final concentration, or you can say initially when it is A, so final it was A minus X. So for 60 minutes, as in the reaction it is question, it is given for 60 minutes. For 60-minute reaction is completed 60%, so the initial concentration would be 100 and the reaction getting completed 60, so the X will be 60. So the final concentration which will remain, it is A minus X, so it will be 100 minus 60, it becomes 40 here. And on putting these values to the equation of rate constant for the first order reaction, we can find out the value of rate constant from here, and the value of rate constant is 0.0153 minute inverse. Now the second part is saying 50% of the reaction, when the same reaction is completing 50%, then in how much time it will get completed. So whenever a reaction gets completed 50%, it means that time for the completion of 50% will be the time will also will get half, because 50% means half. So the time will also be the half at that time. So it will be the t half value, we can say half change in the time. So for t equal to 50 minute, or it is also known as half life, and we know that for first order reaction the value of half life t half is equal to 0.693 by K rate constant. Now as we have calculated the value of K, put the value of K in the equation, we will find the time, and the time will come to be 45 minutes, and option B will be the correct option here. Next question, which of the following ion is colorless in water? Colorless ions will be those ions in which either the d orbital will be completely filled or half filled, or there is no electron in the d orbital. So let's check. The ions are Ti3 positive, V3 positive, vanadium 3 positive, Cu3 positive, and Sc3 positive. So on write down the outermost electronic configuration for titanium 3 positive, you will get 3d1. There is one electron present in outermost d orbital of titanium. When you will write down the electronic configuration for vanadium 3 positive, you will got its outermost electronic configuration to be 3d2. Similarly, when you will write down it for Cu3 positive, as we know that the electronic configuration of copper metal is 3d10 4s1. So on removing 3 electron, you will got it will be 3d8. And now in titanium 3 positive there is 1 unpaired electron, in vanadium 3 positive there is 2 unpaired electron, in Cu3 positive there will be 2 unpaired electrons. So these 3 ions will have unpaired electron, it means they will be colored. And now let's check it for Sc3 positive. When you will write down the electronic configuration, you will get there is no electron present in d orbital, it means d orbital has 0 electron, so it will be a colorless compound here. So the correct option for this question will be option number D, it is scandium 3 positive. Now come to the next question. Transition elements form colored ions due to which reason? Because we know that transition element has a tendency to form colored ions. So the options are smaller atomic radii, dd transition, fully filled d orbitals, and availability of s electrons. So the correct option is dd transition. When an electron jumps in d orbital, then we show the color, and they show the color. Next question, the number of unpaired electrons in a nickel atom in ground state are. When nickel atom present in the ground state, then how many unpaired electrons are there? And we know that the atomic number of nickel is 28. So to find out the unpaired electron, we have to check the outermost electronic configuration of nickel, and we know that it is, for atomic number 21, it is 3d8 4s2. So there are 8 electrons in d orbitals. So 8 electron in d orbitals means the unpaired electron will be 2. When we fill the d subshell, because we know that in d subshell there are 5 orbitals, so as we will fill the d subshell according to Hunsul, we will get 2 unpaired electron in its ground state of nickel. Next question, cuprous ion is colorless while cupric ion is colored because options are given, and cuprous ion is Cu positive whereas cupric ion is Cu2 positive. Now options are given here. First is both have unpaired electrons in the d orbitals. Second, cuprous ion means Cu positive has incomplete d orbital and cupric ion has complete d orbital. See, cuprous ion has complete d orbital and cupric ion has incomplete d orbital. And the fourth one is both have half filled p and d orbital. For this, the correct option will be option number C, where cuprous ion Cu positive will have complete d orbital, and as you will find out, or as you will write down the electronic configuration of Cu positive cuprous ion, you will find it Cu positive will have completely filled d orbital, because the copper metal has electronic configuration 3d10 4s1. So only one electron is removing from Cu, so you are getting 3d10. It means d orbital, d subshell has fully filled electrons in it. So cuprous ion is completely filled d orbital, that's why it is colorless, whereas cupric ion is Cu2 positive. And when you will write down the outermost electronic configuration for Cu2 positive, you will find it has 3d9 electronic configuration, one electron is unpaired or one d orbital is incomplete. So that's why it is colored in nature also. Next question, electronic configuration of transition elements X in +3 oxidation state is organ 3d5. What is the atomic number of the element? So the atomic number when the oxidation state is +3 for any transition element X, and the for +3 oxidation state the electronic configuration is coming to be organ 3d5. It means 3 electrons get removed. So the electronic configuration will be option number C. It is the electronic configuration of atomic number of that particular transition element will be 26. So these are the questions. Thank you. Keep watching.